Hi guys, welcome to Rise Up, Be Me. People ask me, is there more than one dark night of the soul? Can you go through the dark night of the soul many times? The real truth is the real dark night of the soul is that this is your last initiation. This is as close to God as you're going to get. The battle is when you're running away from God, or you're running away from being a messenger, or you're running away from your true self. That becomes the dark night of the soul, because the soul almost doesn't want to become what God is saying it should become. It likes the world that it's living in. And so therefore it tries to escape. And literally I went everywhere to try and escape this message, because I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to be a normal human guy doing normal human things. And of course, through that, the more you deny something that you're supposed to be going towards, the more depressed you will become. Sound familiar? Well, let's talk about it. Running away in the dark night of the soul is all about fear. And for those of you that have chased God or tried to understand what God is, you're trying to understand what is the message in it for you. You're trying to understand what is the dark night of the soul. Why do you keep going through this? So if people turn around and say that they've been going through this many times, it seems like it's that, but what it is, you're going through the same patterns time and time and time again. So that is letting you know that there are massive patterns in your life, which means they start off in a certain way, then there's a middle part to that, and then there's an ending part to that. And you say to yourself, I've ended up in the same place that I started from. I've got nowhere. And some of you will probably hate God because you feel that God's put you through this journey and God's maybe punishing you. You're angry with God. God's never shown you a message and all of that. We really do have a go at God. The turning point is this. It's when you show God what you can do. But most importantly, let's bring it back down to grassroots here. Show your family lineage what you're capable of doing, because they went through muck and bullets to be able to get you to be where you are. And you're saying, well, I'm depressed. Your ancestors are going to look at you and go, what? You don't even know the meaning of what depression truly means. And as I've spoken many times, depression is the place where the human side of you is disappearing. It's got to go. It's dying. You've got to kill it off. If not, the human programming, the human in you will kill you. As you well know, that is what is going on. It's killing everything about you. Your personality, it's killed that off. Your happiness, it's killed that off. Your love, it's killed that off. Your relationship, it got rid of that. Because you're important. Now, no one, not many human beings believe they're important or special. And that doesn't mean walking around going, I'm important and I'm special. It's nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with the material trappings at all. But in the eyes of spirit, my God, you're priceless. This is the thing. You are priceless, walking, talking, priceless piece of art, as I keep telling everybody. To understand that you think your life is your free will is a joke, because that's never going to happen. You can actually see that being played out on a physical level and on a mental level. Your mind's not even yours. It's been told what to think and how to act right from an early age. So awakening from depression is awakening into your true self, the true soul of who you are, the being that you should have been before it got messed up. So can you go through the dark night of the soul many times? Well, I had one long one that probably lasted 15 years, I would have said. And you may find yourself very isolated as well. When God or your soul has got something to do, it will make sure you're on your own, because God or the spirit of wants your undivided attention. And that's who you're supposed to be communicating with. You are communicating with God. You are communicating with yourself, but it's called arguing. And so therefore you keep running away. So if you're being put into the same scenario, situation, time and time and time again, You've got to learn and understand why that keeps happening. You have to understand that pattern because you can't move on until this pattern is understood. And so, therefore, you'll just go through it again. How do I know? Because that's exactly what was happening to me. And once you get it and you say to yourself, hold up here a minute, this don't make sense. I need to find out what is going on here because this is truly something that is going on that I don't think I'm going to get through. So you have to really look at it, write it all down, say, okay, how does this work? And don't forget, awakening is very personal. Don't get involved too much about what's going on there, what they call the awakening, because they've got their own personal journeys. So they're bringing their part to the picture, as in, I've brought my part to the picture. So you've got your part to the picture. But a lot of the times, what you're dealing with that makes you feel like you're going through the dark night of the soul is the way that you communicate with yourself. There's something in your feelings that just doesn't feel right. There's a something that just keeps niggling away that you can't get to the bottom of. To me, that was where the soul was saying, no, you still haven't found me. There's still some more stuff that needs to be healed. There's still some more experiences that you need to understand. How many of you have gone on this spiritual journey because you felt that it was a natural thing to do? It was just happening. It was kind of no choice of your own, but it was just happening. That's what was happening to me. It was being shown to me. It's like, come this way, come this way. And I was going this way, going this way. But in the end, you sort of have to give up and go, right, okay. So it's almost like a surrendering. And it's a tough one because you're surrendering to a higher power. You're surrendering to your soul and your spirit. I mean, this Trevor Isley is redundant. He has no idea about what's going on. Even in the cases of where I was writing, I would write something, it'd be amazing. Trevor Isley would go, I have no idea I did that. Two totally different people. But that's what channelers do. When God is getting in connection with you and it's awakening you up, you will start to see some very, very strange things happening. And as I said, it's the repetitive pattern. You can see the patterns. You've got to get from A and you've got to get to B. As I always say, A is my human self. B was my be me. So A to be me. A to be me. And then I was given an alphabet from A to Z, obviously, about the steps from A to be me. Because A to be me used to be the most amazing thing, because I talk about the be me being body, mind, energy, be my experience, become mindfully empty, and so forth. But there's another process, there's another bit, and it's called A be me. And the A stands for awakened body, mind, energy, aligning body, mind, energy, atonement or at one-ment, body, mind, energy. So every time I thought I was getting to a point in the journey where I thought I got it, I hadn't. So therefore, you feel like you're going through the dark night of the soul, but you have to recognize that you actually have been growing, but because it's you every day, every second, every minute, it doesn't feel like you've gone anywhere. So you have to recess. You have to go back and have a look and say, okay, where was my A point? At my A point, what was I thinking? What was I doing? What was I being? And then you look at yourself now and say, okay, what do I know now? Because if you don't get to this point of what do I know now, this keeps hanging on. For me, that was a human being. It just kept hanging on. It's like, why don't you go back to hairdressing? Why don't you go back to doing makeup? Why don't you be surrounded by women like you used to be? It's a great job. Even my mind was telling me it was a great idea to go back, whereas I was supposed to be going this way because I had something greater to achieve, something that was truly amazing. When you get into that messenger level, it becomes a task, it becomes a challenge because you're being tested. As I have said, the dark night of the soul is a personal initiation to yourself. You have to get it. You have to be the truth of what it is that you're going through. You have to learn to understand the depression. You have to understand your fears. You have to understand what it is that you want to achieve. You have to understand how your mind works. And the Be Me is the solution. Be Meism saved my life. The Code of Ember Key saved my life. It gave me incredible gifts. And why can't you have them gifts? I believe everyone's got these gifts. I think Healers at the moment are probably the most important people on this planet, because 8 billion people definitely need healing. Why do they need healing? Because the human programming sucks, and it's gotten everyone confused to the point where they don't even know what identity to take on, not even in their gender. It is gone absolutely across the board crazy. Be Me is not allowing yourself to get involved with the crazies. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was mad. Looking at the world at the moment, I'm the furthest point away from being called crazy. I'm the furthest point away from being called mad. Because you know what? If you're going through depression and you truly go through the dark night of the soul, you better stay open. You better start listening to yourself. Start listening to these thoughts of yours. Start understanding these feelings of yours, because there is a greater plan, and we ain't got time to wait anymore. It's getting desperate. And that's what you feel inside of you within that depression, as I did. It's like a pressure cooker just waiting to blow open, because it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be loving self, and you're supposed to be loving life. When I look at the world out there, I'm not seeing none of that. So how about that being the best religion on the planet? 3 letters, 2 words, be me, love self, love life. Is there a religion out there? There bloody well should be. And my name is Trevor Owsley, bringing that new religion to the table. I'll see you on the other side. Take care.